Hello, boys and girls, and welcome to Lying's little Minecraft redstone thing, I guess. Now, one of the most recent things I've been working on is this, the L.E.T.S, or L.E.T.S, which is long for Lying's Edge-to-Edge Trigger System. Now, what that basically means is that when a signal goes from, say, off to on, this will send a pulse. When it also then goes from on to off, this will also send a different pulse. You may be wondering why that's interesting, and I'll get to that in a moment, but for first, we should probably cover exactly how this works. Here, we have our input. Whatever we want to measure comes in through here, and turns off these two torches, which affects one of these triggers. If it's going from low to high, or that is to say, off to on, this one will stay off, and this one will pulse. That could be the other way around, I'm not sure. This thing's so compact I've lost a bit of track. But suffice to say, whenever it does one of them, only one of these triggers will go off. And when it does the other one will. So, just to quickly put this together, first, we need a L shape, like this, which is our first trigger. Redstone torch there, redstone torch there, redstone here and here. Repeater set to 1 there, and repeater set to 4 here. Then we need to place blocks here, like so. And we need another block on the side of this redstone. And to complete this little one, we need to put a torch here. On top here, we need to add redstone all along, as well as allow our little input port. Now, we do need a repeater here, but just quickly, to put that there so we can do this. Do another repeater here, which is set again to 1. And these basically prevent the signal from coming backwards because we're using a redstone repeater here, which is powering the direct block. If we just had wire, it would feed right back into itself and create a loop. And similar story here. Damn, 1 second. There. Totally not cheating at all, don't worry, never mind me. Okay, a little short here. There. Add redstone dust. Redstone torch. Huh. I must be miscounting. And this set to 4. What's weird is I swear I've counted out these materials before. Oh well. I'm just using cobblestone for the looks, because a lot of people use dirt, but I don't like grass growing over my redstone pieces. Shut up, cow. But you can use pretty much whatever you want. So, just to give this a quick little test, I'm going to summon forth from the ether gods a lever. Please close your eyes, because this does require a bit of god blindiness. Ah, I have my godly level. Now, if I flick this switch, then one of these will go off. Just to illustrate this a bit better, I'm going to give us a bit of wire to look at. Go away, cow. At times it seems like these cows have been programmed to annoy me. Yes, you. Hush, Bessie. Okay. Now, one of those should light up. Okay, so the bottom one lit up, and the top one lit up, as we can tell from the sparkles there. Now, getting on to the point of why this might actually be useful in Minecraft. Hush, Bessie, hush. Dear Lord, I fail at hitting cows. Over here, we have this massive and inconspicuous little sand pillar. But, behold! This little system is a remarkable little piece of engineering referred to as Ethoslab's light sensor, version 2.0. And what this base does is it uses a block update detector switch, which is this chunk here, to keep an eye on this little dirt block here. Whenever that goes off momentarily, it triggers this T flip-flop, which is a memory circuit which is on or off, based on a singular input. Now, you can just hook onto the basic little pulse from the bud switch, or you can just take the current output here, but there is a slight problem. You see, this whole thing is based on that block there, that little dirt grass block, changing between dirt and grass. Unfortunately, that process, which turns it into grass, is completely random, and so it can take a very short time or absolute ages. And the only real way to actually get this to work reasonably well is to have a whole ton of these in circuit just lined up next to each other. But then you have a problem, because if you have it as just the raw output from the T flip-flop, then the output will always be on as long as one of these is on. Bearing in mind, these take a while to change. So, for example, you could connect it to a streetlight system and it would be completely on long into the day. And then, if you wanted to turn off, if you wanted to actually do the other way, you could have it wait for absolute ages until the last one turns off. And the way that we solve this is by having the L.E.T.S system. What that means is that we can basically have a whole ton of these in line, and then hook them all up into a L.E.T.S of their own, and then we can connect that output, the pulses, that is, from the L.E.T.S, all up to a single memory unit. So, just this quick little example I've wired up here. Here I have 10 of these EFO light switches, each of them with their own little light indicator there, each hooked up to a L.E.T system. And this L.E.T system, as we can see just down here, is connected to just a simple D latch, which is on-off depending on which input you feed. So if this ground piece comes off, then that torch will go off, this one will come on, and the whole system will output on. And vice versa, sayonara, coming from the top here. I also have in between them these repeaters, because this is a huge system, and the signal kind of runs out very, very quickly. So let me just summon forth the ether gods a little bit. There we go. I have been divinely blessed. And as we can see, it's all daytime. These things are all happily turned off. And now we're just going to play a bit more temporal magic and see what happens when these hit night. Now, I added the little light caps at the top there to make this a lot more easier to see, but as soon as one of these changes over, this memory unit will also switch, but anything after that that decides to change is not going to affect the output, which is vitally important. As we can see, one of these has changed already, resulting in our little changed output, and by God, my feet are busy. There's another one. That's also changed, but the output hasn't changed with it, which is very important. Because if we just did this with it connected straight to the bud switch, it would change every single time any single one of them changed in either direction. As we can see, they are slowly but surely all turning on. Now let's give them a little bit of a treat and show them some sunshine. Day 5 already, but the time flies. And there we go, almost instantaneously. Well, we had a flicker there, but I'm not sure what happened. One thing, the light switch I've noticed to be personally a bit, what's the word? Rambunctious? Shenaniganry? I don't know. But it has a bit of trouble when it's converting on single player for me, but that could just be my system, because it seems to be fairly precise otherwise. But we can just engineer these to behave for the moment, for the purposes of this tutorial, ladies and gents. There we go. So that's one application. This is fairly huge, and I would very much like to compact it further, but for now this is about as good as I can get. And this is something that you can hook up on, say, an SMP server for a city to control the street lights coming up, or you can use it as a straight pulse to close the doors close the doors of your lavish mansion at night to prevent any monsters getting in. Overall, I found a fair few uses for this, but to each their own discretion, really. And that's all for today. We'll see what I happen to have next time, if at all. Perhaps I'll just go kill Bessie over there. Eh, what the hell. Come down here. Grr. I am the king! Okay, catch you all later.